What's up, TNA fam?
Today's video, we're gonna make some deep fried appetizers. We're gonna make some mushrooms, some zucchini, mozzarella sticks, onion rings, and some homemade chips.
If we're gonna make some homemade chips, we gotta make some homemade nachos with some shredded beef.
Cue the intro. First thing we're gonna make is some zucchini.
We got our flour, we seasoned it with salt and paprika and a TNA seasoning, which is a blend of pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder. Then we got eggs with milk and Italian breadcrumbs. We're going to slice these into some circles.
Okay, so first we're gonna get this little circle into some egg, then into some flour,
Then back into the egg, then into the breadcrumbs. Make sure to coat it with everything.
as much as possible, and we'll set these aside and we'll be back when we're done. Okay, we got those in. I'm going to do these in 2 batches, and in goes to the deep fryer. Cover it. Should only take a couple minutes. You just want the breading to get crispy, and then we're going to serve it with some ranch. After about a minute or 2, you can use a fork, flip them over, just to see what the other side's looking like. Go about another minute. See, they're already pretty crispy. All right, first appetizer is done. Now we taste.
Amazing.
I agree. All right. Number 1 down. On to the next.
Now we're making some mozzarella sticks. We found some cheese sticks at the store. We cut them in half so they're bite-sized pizzas.
We're going to do the same ingredients, our same flour mixture, egg, breadcrumbs. After we get that all done, they're going to go in the freezer for about 10-15 minutes before they go in the deep fryer. And while they're in the freezer, we're going to whip up our own marinara sauce.
Now I use the dry hand? No, I use the dry hand here.
Back to the egg. And then to the breadcrumbs.
Now into the freezer for about 10 to 15 minutes.
All right, took them out of the freezer. We're gonna cook all 10 of these
Together.
Just gotta pay attention, check on them so that way the cheese doesn't start oozing out or nothing. Maybe a minute or 2. Getting a little over a minute and they look done. Okay, here we go. Now to taste it. And it's an experiment because Aiden doesn't like white cheese. So he's going to try it though and see what we got. It's going to be hot, bro.
Here goes nothing.
Pull it, bro. Pull it. All right, what do we think?
Good.
I agree.
Now we're doing mushrooms. The only difference is we're not using breadcrumbs.
We're just gonna use our seasoned flour as our breading. So after we do the egg, then the flour, then we're going back to the egg and back to the flour again. Similar. So we went to the egg mixture, then the flour, back to the egg mixture, and then back to the flour. They're gonna be similar like when we did the chicken strips or our chicken sandwiches. That's the kind of breading that they're gonna have. All right, that's what we got. Now, in they go. Again, this is only gonna take like a minute or two when we lower them. In about a minute, we'll go give them a turn, make sure both sides get done good. And these are done. I'm gonna cut some of these in half. Aiden's just gonna go to town. All right, time to try them. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
Amazing.
Now, we're gonna do some onion rings. We'll start cutting our onion. Gotta try to get them in as equal width sizes as possible. Then we are gonna separate them and then put them in some ice water while we make our batter. Got to be careful when you separate these. That way you don't break them. And then check the insides to see if that little filmy stuff is there. If not, put them in the water. If some break like this, you could use these, but we're not gonna. We're gonna be perfectionists, I guess. And then we'll be back when we're done. So we've never made these before, so I went and stole the recipe from Martha Stewart's channel.
Her YouTube channel?
No, not that channel. So we're gonna start with a cup of flour, about a tablespoon of baking powder, some salt, paprika, and then a good helping of our TNA seasoning. And the last bit is a cup of beer. Use whatever you want. Now we're gonna mix that up, and that's gonna be our wet batter. Take out our onions out of our water. Just kind of place them on a towel, kitchen towel, something, and then you're gonna pat these dry. It's important that we dry them off. Okay, we're gonna try one first. We're gonna put that in some flour. From there, into our batter. Make sure it's coated. From here, into our fryer. Okay. Got a good crust, good color. We'll let this cool off for 1 second. We're going to taste it and then see if we need to change anything to our batter.
It's good. It's perfect.
This guy didn't even eat any of the onion. You sure it's perfect?
Let me taste it one more time.
I think it needs a little more salt.
Yeah, now that I got the onion, yeah. Need more salt.
Well, these look amazing for sure. Now, let's taste them. Have at it. Much better.
I have a sauce right here too that we made for our Spanish cheese steaks last week. I'm gonna try it.
Yep, these are amazing. Now, we're gonna make our own chips. We'll cut our corn tortillas like that into 3 and 1 across. I'm not gonna make the traditional little triangles. We're gonna do that, deep fry them, and then we're gonna season them with our own little creation of seasoning we just came up with. In go our corn tortillas. Couple minutes, you'll know when they're done. You do about that much at a time. Cover them and then we'll check back. All right, they're about done. Drain a little bit of the oil. Keep them a little spaced out so when you season them, you've got as much covered as possible. Now, we made our own version of some salt with some red chili, and we're gonna call this some TNA hot salt. Okay, so we're gonna try one. I was at a restaurant the other day and we're eating chips and salsa, and someone said, "These are the best chips ever." And so I was like, hold my, you know what, and let's see. And now that restaurant has to hold that out. These are way better. What do you think?
These are the best ever.
All right, for our last thing, we're gonna make some nachos. So down goes some of our homemade chips.
We made our shredded beef off camera. And we made guacamole and pico de gallo off camera.
And now some cheese. More chips.
More mixture of the meat.
More shredded beef. And this is amazing. I suggest you go look at that shredded beef video. This is like the best ever.
I just took a little bit off camera, behind the camera. More cheese. And then jalapenos. Then into the oven to melt the cheese.
And then when we come out, then we'll top it with that guac and that pico that we made. All right, into the oven. And there we go. Now, let's test it. All right, it's time.
That's amazing.
Our shredded beef is too good.
Yeah.
All right, till next time, guys. Like and subscribe.
Always like and subscribe. See you next time.